Hi everyone, Monique here with Little Gems Creations 1. Today I am going to be showing you guys how to make a solid granny square couch blanket. Now I've already made myself one of these, but I have two couches, so I want to have another one, so I'm working on another one. Now if you follow me, you'll know that I've already started and that I have asked help because sometimes I don't feel inspired to work on it. So today's video, I'm going to work on it a bit more and show you how to get to where we're going on this couch blanket. And we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here with Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are making a solid granny square couch blanket. You are going to need a size 5mm crochet hook. This is a brand new one I just got from my sons for Christmas. I love it. My other size 5, I had tried the polymer clay up the handle and I had gone too high. And so I refused to throw it out and kept using it, but now that I've got this one, I may actually throw the other one out. Then you're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a darning needle. You also are going to need 3 colors of yarn. Now I have already made one of these blankets, but I have 2 couches in my living room, so I want a second blanket. So I'm using the colors black, white, and this kind of coffee brown. I don't know what the actual name is. I have had this ball for a while. So yeah, that's what we're working on today. So we're gonna get started. So this is where I'm at so far. Okay, so I do a solid white. I do a brown and black striped, then I do a black and a solid brown. Now I'm gonna make this 7 wide, okay? And as you can see, I attach as I go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next one I'm gonna make is the striped one. So let's get started. I'll show you how I start it, and then you can finish up to the last round, and then I'll show you how I attach it. So I'm going to take my brown, move that out of the way, and I'm using my 5mm hook. I cross my yarn over, and my working yarn is at the back. I'm going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to slip stitch into that very first chain. Okay, I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I am going to catch my tail at the back there. So that, what I mean by that is when I do my stitch into the center, I'm going to make sure that that tail is over top. Okay. So we're doing double crochet, so you want to do yarn over, into the center, grab your yarn, pull through, go through 2 loops, go through 2 loops, and then yarn over, into the center, yarn over, 2 loops, 2 loops. So I'm going to do 3, then I chain 1, I'm going to do 3 more double crochets. So as you can see, my chain 1 was my corner. Okay. And then I'm going to chain 1. Then I'm going to do 3 more double crochets. 2, 3, chain 1, 3 more double crochets. I may actually show you this whole block because we're going to be doing yarn changes. Well, at least maybe for the first couple of rounds. So 3, okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3 corners. This is our 4th corner. We chain 1. We're going to go over to our chain 3 that we did up. We're going into the top, chain 3. We are switching colors. So find the end of your black. And this can be done with any 3 colors. This can be done with solid color, like if you don't want to like make it striped. Okay, but we're doing the striped one. So I've gone into that chain 3. I'm taking my black, I'm pulling it through. Now I'm chaining up 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm working the next row, I'm working the corner. So I want to do another double crochet in that corner, okay? So we've got 2 there, okay? Now I'm going into this stitch right here, okay? So I'm going into the top of the chain 3 where you made your slip stitch. I'm going into there and I'm making a double crochet. I go into the next stitch, make a double crochet. I go into the next stitch, make a double crochet. Now I'm going to do double crochet in the corner. I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to chain 1, do another double crochet in that corner, and another. Now, here's the tricky part. I kind of have to shimmy those over so that I can see where my next stitch is, okay? Then I'm going to double crochet in that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then I'm doing 2 in the corner. 1, 2. Then I'm going to chain 1 to make the space. Then I'm going to do 2 more double crochets. 1, 2. I'm going to shimmy my work over so I can see where I need to pick up my first stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm doing 2 in the corner. 1, 2. I'm chaining 1, chain 1, 2 more in that corner. 1, 2. Shimmy that work over. I'm going to go into the stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then I'm going to finish off by putting 2 in the corner. 1, 2. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to get ready. I'll go into that chain 3 that we chained up. Cut my yarn from the back. I wouldn't drag my yarn along the back because the back of the blanket you see. So if it was hidden, then I might, but okay, then we're going to chain up 3. Okay, so just so you know, this is how I look at it. Okay, so you always have 2 in the corner, okay? And then, so 1, 2, and then we did 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, counting the 2 in the corner. It will always be an odd number, okay? Does that make sense? It'll always be an odd number. So when we do our next row, when we count, we're going to have their chain 3 counts as 1, Then we're gonna do our double crochet, right? Then we're gonna shimmy those over. Sorry. We're gonna shimmy those over in to that chain 3. We're gonna put our first double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is what we had from the previous row. We added 2, and we're adding 2 more for this corner. Okay, so now if we stop here before we do our chain and we count, we have the chain counts as 1 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, it's always going to be an odd number. So if you want to double check your work, that's what you're looking for. You always want it to be an odd number. Okay, so then we're going to chain 1. Now we're just going to keep doing this, and we are going to do, where's my blanket? We are going to do this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, okay? But when we're doing our 5th row, we're going to use it to attach. So come back to me when you have started your 5th row, like you're just ready to start your 5th row, okay? In the meantime, do what we did until you get there. Okay, so I'm ready to start my 5th row. I've chained up 3. I'm going into the corner, whoops, and I'm doing another double crochet. Now I'm going to where I did the chain up 3 from the previous, or where I did my slip stitch, and I'm doing my first double crochet there, and I'm gonna go across. So what I'm doing is I do my first row of the block that I'm gonna attach, okay? So we're gonna do the first row. Takes a bit, but right up to the corner. So, oh, and by the way, this blanket, the Afghan couch blanket, whatever you want to call it, I am making it 7 by 9. So 7 squares wide by 9 squares long, just so you know. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning. So yeah, okay, so I'm getting to the corner. Now this is the important part where I've got to stay in frame, which may be difficult for me. So I'm just done my 2 double crochets in the corner, okay? Now I'm taking my ones that I've already attached. I'm going to the corner. Okay, now in the corner where the chain 1 is, I am going to do a slip stitch into there. Okay, I hope you can see this. Now I'm going to do yarn over, and I'm going to do most of a double crochet. So I go through the 2. Now I'm going to go in to the other square, the first stitch after the corner. I'm going to grab my yarn and finish off my double crochet. So let's do that again. So yarn over, into the corner, do through the 2 loops. Now grab your other square, and you see how I would be going in right here? I make sure my working yarn is out of the way. I go in through there, pull my yarn through there, and pull it through my 2 loops to finish my double crochet. Okay, so those were the 2 in the corner. Now I'm shimmying over my stitches just like I did before. I'm going in, I'm going through my 2 loops, And now I'm going to pick up that stitch from the other square and pull it through. Okay, let's do it again. Yarn over into the stitch on the square I'm attaching. Go through the first 2 loops of your double crochet. Grab your square that you're attaching to, go through the next stitch and pull your yarn through that. Okay? Now we're going to do this all the way across to the other corner. I'm just going to keep doing it so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm trying to do it slow. Okay, so yarn over into the next stitch, do up to the double, do half of the double crochet, go into the next square, grab your yarn and finish off that double crochet, okay? Into your next stitch on the one you're attaching, through the 2 loops, into the next stitch of the one you're attaching to, grab your yarn, pull through those 2 loops. Okay, I'm going to keep going so you have lots of time to see this. Yarn over like you're doing a double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over through the first 2 loops. Grabbing this one you're attaching to, you're going through the next stitch, pulling your yarn through and finishing off that double crochet, okay? Do it again. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull through the first 2 loops, grab the square you're attaching to, go through that stitch, pull through. Okay, and we're doing this all the way to the end. It's a bit difficult, but I know you can do it. It just takes time, and you know what? It'll get so you do it without even thinking, and you do it really fast. But in the meantime, just go slow. Just like a normal double crochet into the 2 loops, and where you're changing it up is when you're going through the last 2 loops, you're actually slip stitching into the one you're attaching to. Yarn over, 2 loops, up through there, attaching. Okay, and you'll also see if you have done your stitches right. If you've been counting, great, but if you haven't because you're confident, you'll know because you're matching up stitches here. So, okay, so we've got a couple more. So we're attaching, and then another. This is the one before the corner, okay, on our one we're attaching. And you're like, but no, I still have stitches up top. That's okay, because those account for your 2 stitches you're about to add to the corner. So you're going to do your 1 stitch, and now you're going to pick up. There you go. And now you're doing another stitch into that corner, pull through, attach. Oops, I missed. Attach. Now you would be doing a chain 1 here, correct? But what we're going to do instead is we're going to do a slip stitch into the corner of the white. Now we're turning our work, so we're going down this side now. We just do it 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and now we're going to continue on like nothing weird has just happened. And look what we've done. We have attached it, yes. And then you're not left with 475 squares you have to attach at the end of your project, which for me is overwhelming, and the project never gets finished. I'm bad enough about not finishing projects as it is. I don't need to have the extra pressure of attaching all the squares. You know what I mean? So you just continue like you did before. Finish off your row all the way around, cut your yarn, and you have done the striped attach as you go square. Okay, so finish this off, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you about hiding our threads, and then we'll go to the next square. Okay, so finish this square off and come back to me. Okay, so I have completed my last round, and I pulled my yarn through, pulled it tight. So now all I want to show you with this, I mean, hiding threads is hiding threads, right? So I grabbed my trusty go bag for my darning needle. Now, remember how I told you in the beginning to catch your tail? You see how these, the centers, are nice and tight and closed? See, for all of those are nice and tight and closed. My other blanket that is on my couch, I left the things open like this because I tried that technique where you just catch your tail and you work it in with all your stitches. But you know what? The hole keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I hate that. So with this technique, you caught your tail, so now we can give it a tug and cinch that right up. See how awesome that is? And then just like with my other projects, I do a back stitch. So I go a little bit behind where I'm going to start stitching, and then I pull it. Okay, so a little bit behind, and then I go forward. This is called back stitching. A little bit behind, and then I go forward. A little bit behind, then I go forward. And that's going to keep this from pulling bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, some people don't like tying. Sorry, I keep putting my darning needle in my mouth. Shoot, I think I went out of frame. So with this blanket, you can totally tie a knot, you know, just to make sure that extra security. See how it hardly even shows? And what we're gonna do now is we're still gonna hide those threads, but you're golden because you know it doesn't matter how much you tug, that will never come out, right? And just like I do with all my others, I back stitch, go a little bit behind, and then go forward. Okay, and then I snip. So I hide all the threads except for my edge thread, okay? So you see on the others, I hide the threads and I leave the last thread. The reason I leave the last thread is I find that if I hide it on that last row, sometimes I go through stitches that I need to find when I attach, and it messes me all up. So it's a self-preservation thing. I don't want to mess up my attach as you go because I sure as heck don't want to sew all these things together. And you might be wondering, do you get a ridge? Yes, you get a ridge, but to me, it's a very minimal ridge, and it adds character, I think. And because it's with the color of the next block, you hardly notice it. But yeah, there you go. So hide all the threads, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do a solid square, all one color, so that you can get the hang of that. Which one's next? So it would be black. I'm not going to do the black one. I'll do the black one on my own. I'll come back when I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be the black. I'll show you when I'm doing a brown one for the next row, and then I'll also be able to show you how you attach as you go on 2 sides. So let's just, I'm gonna do that on my own time. Come back when you've got your 7, okay? Your 7 in the row, and then I'll show you how to attach as you go 2 sides. And I'll show you how to do the solid block. If you want to do the solid block on your own, I do have another video, or you can watch ahead and see it, because I will do it before I do the next attach as you go on 2 sides. You know what? You wouldn't see the 2 sides because I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a black. My brown would still be one side. It would be the next one, which would be black, which is hard to see. And then it would be striped. Maybe I'll do it on a striped one. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Anyway, we will come back. I'll show you how to do a solid square, and then I'll show you how to attach on 2 sides. So, see you in a minute. Okay, so I just finished my black square. So, now, the way this blanket works up is all the squares are going to be diagonal. So what I mean by that is your black one will jump to here, okay? Then it'll jump to there in the next one. And your striped one will go here in your next row, that kind of thing, okay? So if black is going here, that means we need a brown to go here. So I am going to grab my brown yarn, and I am going to show you how to do just a solid granny square with no stripes. And it's pretty easy. If you've got the striped one, this will be really easy. So, okay. So, I cross my yarn. Okay. Working yarns at the back. I chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I catch that first and I do a slip stitch. That first chain and do a slip stitch. Chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. That chain 3 counts as my first double crochet. Yarn over, I'm going to do my chain 3. I am catching my tail. That means that, see here, it is over top of my crochet hook, so when I pull through, it got caught. Okay, so we're going to do 3, and then we're going to do a chain 1. And then we're going to do 3 more double crochets. And then we'll do a chain 1. And this is how we're getting our corners. Our chain 1 is our corners. Chain 1. There. Here we go. And then we're going to chain 1. So we've got, see, 1, 2, we just did that one, so that's 3. So now we are going to do 3 more double crochets, and I'm still catching that tail all the way around. Okay, so 3, chain 1. Now this is where we're different. Last time we went into our chain 3, and this is where we switch colors. We're not going to switch colors. We're just going to keep going. We're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to make sure we go into the corner. Then we're going to shimmy those over and go back into that top of the chain 3 and do our double crochet for the row. And then we'll do 2 in the next corner. 1, 2, chain 1, 1, 2. So that's our corner. Shimmy those over so we can find our first stitch. Okay, and we're just going to keep going around like this until we get to the 5th row. And then on the 5th row, we will attach. Okay, so remember, when you're doing your 5th row, you do one side, just normal, and then on your 2nd side is when you attach. Now, when we attach this one, we are going to be going to attach on a side. So we're not adding to the length, we're going on a side. So we're going to add to the length but upwards, I guess is how you describe it. Okay, so let me show you on a different one. Yes, I love this pattern so much, I make it in multiple colors. So, see with this one, I attached, but I didn't have to add to length, I attached upwards, okay? And then the next one would be my black, the next one would be my blue, you know what I mean? So, what I want you to do is I want you to do this step, and then I'm going to show you the next step where we're attaching on 2 sides, okay? And you'll never have to attach for this blanket on more than 2 sides, okay? Because you're always going to be attaching like that, okay? So, you do this, attach, and then meet me back and I'll show you how to attach 2 sides. Okay. Okay, so I just attached the brown one. Next I'm going to do a white one because like I said, the pattern is that it goes diagonally. So we're going to do a white one and then we're going to have to connect it on 2 sides, okay? So I want you to do your white one, get up to the 5th round, do the 1st row of your 5th round and meet me back. I also, if you haven't had a chance yet, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe. And we're going to have a game at the end of this tutorial. So stay tuned to the end to find out about the game. Okie dokie. So we're doing a white one and you want to have it all the way done up to the 5th round and you want to do the 1st side of the 5th round and meet me back. Okay. Okay, so I have done my white square. I am doing my last 2 stitches. Whoops. Last 2 stitches in my corner. Okay, and I did my one side, right? So now we are going to take this, we are going to slip stitch into this corner. Okay, hope you can see that. Now yarn over, we're working in the white corner, we're going through our 2 loops. We're going to grab the one we're attaching to, pull our yarn through, and finish off our double crochet. Let's do it again. So into the corner, go through the 2 loops, into the next stitch on the one we're attaching to, pull through. Now we're going to shimmy those stitches over so we can get to that 1st stitch. There we go. And then we're going to catch this one, pull through. Okay, we're going to do this all the way across to the next corner. Okay, I'm going to go faster here so that it happens faster. Okay, so in, da-da-da, in, pull through, in, pull through, there we go. Okay, so this is gonna match my other blanket from my other couch, but this one I'm fixing all the things I didn't like about the first one I made. And don't get me wrong, I really like the first one I made. I just, like I said, I prefer the centers tighter, and I think the other one I used a bigger hook. And don't forget that crochet relaxes, right? So as you wash it, as you use it, it will start to relax and loosen up. So if you're making this and you're like, well, gosh, that's really tight, I'm not too sure I like that, remember it will loosen with use. Okay, so this is something I try and keep in mind with all the projects I make, is that stitching does loosen with use. Okay, so I'm getting to the corner here. So here's what we're going to do. We're doing our 2 double crochets to finish off the row on the square we're currently attaching to, okay? So this will be the last stitch. Now we're in the corner. But, so we just attached to this one. Now we've got to attach to this one. So we are going to slip stitch into the corner of the next block we're attaching to, okay? So that is our chain 1. Then we're going to do our 2 stitches and we're going to start attaching to the other square. Okay, so see what I did there? So that's the only difference. We're going to do everything else the same all the way to the end, and then we'll finish up our side. But that was the difference. So instead of slip stitching into the white, we're now slip stitching into the striped one. Okay, and then we keep going. So see how that's attached so nicely? And we're going to just attach here. And then we're going to finish off. So you do that, finish off your row. And then the other side and meet me back.